So nice and warm. How are you feeling now? How's the body?
My hands are a bit sore, but you know, have you worn 10 ounces?
Yeah.
They're very small, aren't they? So like hitting someone's forehead for like 10 rounds, it obviously hurts. But no, man, I feel okay. Like obviously my nose is broke, so I've got my operation next Friday.
Okay.
Which has been a long time coming because it kind of broke in the Jose Button fight. So yeah. But when I went to get, because it's not bent, I didn't know it was broke.
Okay.
I'm thinking this is like super sensitive, like, and it's not actually getting better. So after one spot, I went to get looked at it. The guy was like, yeah, it's broke. You need 6 weeks. You need surgery, then you need 6 weeks. I said, look, I got a fight in, I think 8 weeks. I can't do 6 weeks of no sparring. So I knew going into this fight was going to be a little bit of an issue. I think it was in the 3rd round I really felt it go in this fight. But no, my body's okay. Like you get knocks and bumps. Like my ribs are a bit sore. Yeah, like you said, it's combat and it's 10 rounds, bro.
That's it.
So,
Nice. Whoa. I'd say with so essentially what I've done with just to kind of break down what I've done is essentially with the game.
Yeah.
I see there's
the game.
The game of boxing,
okay, right,
the sport, the sweet science.
However you want to say it.
So I see there's like 7 like keys to the training side, which I've kind of learned from studying as well.
Yep.
I see it as like the cardio.
Yep.
So in terms of like skipping, road work, getting that first bit, building up your engine, then like actually learning the punches from your jab, your cross, hooks, uppercuts, and obviously there's variations from it, but that's like the main 4. We then go into your defense. So when I look into defense, I kind of from like studying about what people have told me is starts from the ground up. So your first form of defense is your footwork in terms of moving, changing angles, your pivots,
controlling distance kind of thing.
Absolutely. Second is then in terms of your body, like with the head movement, so your slips, your rolls. Your last line of defense are your arms in terms of your blocks, your parries. So different people focus on different areas in terms of like some fighters like might
depending on how you're built and your athletic like ability.
That's it. So you might adjust it in terms of one might be more 80, 10, 10, or one's like, but all 3 elements play a part in terms of your defense, your footwork there, and then from there we then go into strength and conditioning, more like your circuits. So that's where we're doing. Obviously, once you got your punching and your defense, you then put it all together. So that's for your shadow boxing, strength and conditioning. That's where we're you do your circuits, you do your strength training, and building more bag work. So that's again heavy bag, speed. But I've primarily only really had access to a heavy bag, but when I can, I've always tried to do a speed bag or a double end bag.
I like the double end ball or double end bag. I never really used a speed bag.
Which ones would you say were like the ones that you use the most?
I think just because of like limitations, I use the heavy bag the most. But the best for me is the double end. You know, the front to ceiling one. Like the timing, rhythm is the best.
Got you. So that's what I need to get more into.
But I think there's more, like with the heavy bag, there's more heavy bags around for 1, but for 2, it's like, the heavy bag you can kind of do the cardio thing, you can do the defense thing, you can do the combinations. With the double M bag or the floor ceiling bag, you can't do as much, basically.
So it's one that, if you've only got one bag to choose,
I think probably heavy bag.
Heavy bag, but as in, if you've got the ability to get 2, then definitely have the double end bag along with the heavy bag. And then from there, we then say, I go into partner drills. So partner drills, that's essentially, take sparring, either real sparring, or, because obviously you can't real spar on your own, and then also pad work. So it's in different coaches or different fighters lean in more. For instance, like Ali, I don't think I've ever really seen a video of him doing pads. Versus like someone else like Tyson, he was pads galore in terms of working his combination with Teddy and other people of that nature. And then last but not least is the mobility in terms of like stretching, doing mobility work.
What I'm doing now.
Exactly. You know, so it's
that's a big part of it.
Absolutely. So I feel those are like the main keys to the training, and then from there we then look into the outside of the technical ability, the physical side, fitness of it. You've got speed work, strength, and stamina. So like those are like the 3 things you kind of need for boxing. You need to be strong, you need to be fast, and you need to be able to have an engine to go over that time frame. Out of those three, which one would you say matters the most? What would you say?
Speed, stamina, and
strength.
I think you can never. I would say stamina. You can never have a good enough engine in a fight, if that makes sense. Personally, I feel like strength is limited. Physical strength. I think if you got good, going back to the technique and whatnot. I think going back to if you got good technique and good punch efficiency, like if you know how to transfer your weight, that strength can be somewhat irrelevant, if that makes sense. Because I know some guys that are strong, but they don't have good technique, so they can't put their strength on their opponent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would probably say cardio, fitness in boxing. Yeah.
Got it. So getting that stamina.
Yep.
And then from there, next what we've got is a few ideas in terms of like I've got a few. I had wrote down 5 ways in terms of how to improve speed. So you mentioned stamina and speed. Actually no, because you said stamina first. Which ways would you recommend to improve stamina? Like if someone wanted to improve their stamina.
The bet for a fighter of my level, for a fighter of my level, like a professional fighter, or even amateur fighter.
Okay, let's start with your type of fight, and then if you're trying to get for your youngers.
I would, if you're preparing for a fight, I would fight. So I would spar. I would manipulate the sparring. So if you're doing 3 minutes in your fight, 3 minute spar, 3 minute fight, 1 minute rest, I'll maybe do 4 minutes in training, 4 minute spar, 45 second rest or 30 second rest. So I do, if I'm doing 8 rounds, I do 4 rounds with one guy, and then I bring in a fresh guy while I'm tired. Cool. So that is the best way to emulate like the fitness that you'll actually need. Running, hill sprints, rowing, all that is good, but it's not the same as actual combat. There's a different kind of, there's getting fit and getting in shape, then there's like fight fitness, if that makes sense. So yeah, for me, sparring, if you're trying to get prepared, I think it's like if you're like a lower level or just starting out, I would say, like I said, running, sprints on the track. Sprints on the track.
Yeah.
You can do slow, steady state. That does help to a certain degree, but you need to add in some sprints. Like I do like what's called lamppost sprints. So I'll go for a 5-mile jog, but I'll sprint lamppost to lamppost like that, just so my heart rate's up and down. You need your heart rate to be up in the red zone. But yeah, like in terms of like muscular endurance as well, you need that, because sometimes you'll be in a fight or in a sparring, you're not like, your lungs are fine, but it's like your body is shutting down, like you're feeling fatigued. So like sometimes that's just your muscular endurance. So again, 5 minute rounds on the bag, 5 minute rounds on the pads, just getting your punch endurance up so that your shoulders and your arms are able to punch and move for the whole fight.
Love that. And so from there, with speed, what would you say? Because actually I had some of those. So with the, you know when you said lamppost to lamppost, that's exactly what my thing I wrote, from tree to tree.
Same kind
of I was more in nature, but yeah, same process, interval training, but I said increasing your running to like go from 3 to 6, as you're right, is in one needs to, that might give you a better engine, but if you're not used to adjusting your
up and down
range,
levels,
that's it. And then in terms of increasing, let's say, increasing the length of rounds. So if you're only used to doing 2 minute rounds, in fact,
that's probably the best thing to do. Yeah, that helps you also to manage your way. How I find like through a fight, I can start to learn. Okay, I've got a minute left. Without someone telling me, I just know, because I'm used to being in that situation. You know how to kill the time. You know how to bring it up and slow it down during a round. So yeah, that's important.
Love that. And then I put four keys to technical boxing. So I kind of looked at first, obviously the punches, actually technique, throwing the different punches. Next, head movement. Footwork. Yeah. So you're taught to get in and out of punching range. Head movement to avoid punches, and also boxing IQ. So when you're talking about exactly what you just mentioned there around your ability to control the rhythm of the fight and understanding how things move. In terms of technical boxing, what else do you feel, or is there any out of those?
I feel like you've touched on all of them. I feel like the most important one would probably be like boxing IQ. It kind of incorporates the other three, the footwork, the head movement, and the punches. Once you know what you're doing, that's a big up bonus. Like if you're in shape and then you got good boxing IQ and you know what you're doing, even if you're not the best athlete, you're not the strongest, you're not the fastest, it's like you can kind of win about just on your boxing IQ. So yeah, that one is something that I think is overlooked a lot of the time in boxing these days, amateur and pro. Everyone just wants to be strong and powerful, and that has its place, but you also need to, your boxing IQ needs to be up there, and you get that from like studying fights, watching other people, practicing sparring, picking other people's brains. But for me, I watch a lot of boxing. Not necessarily tutorials at this level, but like just like other great fighters. I take a little bit from him, a little bit from him, a little bit from him. So yeah.
Studying them, love that. And then what I put is looking a bit around like a checklist of different, no, with that, we'll leave that bit. Because it's more of like, I said a checklist, because I call them 4 different types of fighters. You've got rookies, amateurs, professionals, and elites. And with these categories, it's not necessarily to say the level you're at, but more the type of effort that you put in towards your training. The same way you could be an elite fighter, but you're in your off season. So the way you're training, you're training as if you were a rookie. Or do you know what I mean? You can't say you're training to the elite. There you go. So I see like a rookie is someone who like does training maybe once or twice a week. So they could be in great shape, but their training isn't necessarily boxing specific. They do boxing once or twice a week. Outside of that, they're just, you know what I mean, they're lifting weights, doing whatever else. So that's kind of like training like a fighter rookie then. Amateur is someone who's doing boxing like 3 times a week, the minimum, and probably doing their cardio, getting 3 runs a week out as well, and doing like a strength and conditioning session around that. Most amateurs do more than that, but that's kind of like a baseline. If you want to be competitive, you want to train at least to that level. Pros, professionals, like boxing train at least 5 times a week, 5-6 times. Doing their runs, cardio 5-6 times, maybe strength and conditioning once or twice, mobility work included there,
everything,
sports massage, physio, nutritionist as well. Again, same with the elites, just probably with the elites they focus more around like the mindset as well. Is in even if it's not formally,
the smaller things, isn't it?
But it's that mental side where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna wake up that bit earlier. I'm gonna tell myself I can beat it. Like that self-talk and the mental training applies more.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
So in those, would you say that like obviously as you're at the elite level, how do you feel that kind of, does that tie up to what you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think to be honest, like a good amateur or an aspiring amateur and an elite professional probably do very similar training. I think it's the small things like the nutrition, like I said, the consistency. Some amateurs, it's like they'll train. I train with some amateurs, my little cousins. They'll train really hard, but then they'll have days or even weeks where their consistency is up and down. I think the difference between me and them is that my training is always, not to say I don't rest, but like I'm always on point. I'm always keeping myself accountable. My nutrition is up. My sleep is, you know, as it should be. My recovery, my mobility, my stretching. I don't overlook any areas. And as I've developed from an amateur to pro, apart from fighting more rounds and competing at a higher level, the training is very similar. It's just the small things outside of the ring and from a lifestyle perspective that have helped me to get to this level.
Yeah, 100%. And then so now this is the part which, again, talking around the combinations. So there's 8 combinations. So I got this actually idea from Darren Anderson. So he's actually at Beckham Spa, like one of the managers there. But he used to be a former kickboxing champion. I think he competed in, he was the assistant boxing coach for England, amateur team, and the head coach for South Africa. And what he said is that when they would do their training, they would learn like anywhere between 6 to 10 combinations, and they'd like drill those for the whole year, and then take that to competition and like sort of build it there. So from there I was like, okay, let me put together my own 8 combinations from like studying it, what's worked for me, and different things, and like just wanted to like talk you through the combination, see what your thoughts are with it. So the first one we're looking at would be like again double jab cross. So combo 1, double jab cross. How effective would you say that?
It's a very it's one of the first combinations that you would learn. It's a very basic combination, but if you look at some of the best in the world, it's like I said, like some of their fundamentals are just the best. And if you can throw a good double jab right hand and bring it up, like the double jab is good because it brings you in range. You land a power shot and then you exit. If you exit correctly with a high hand, it's like that's all sometimes you really need. Sometimes people want to do the flashy uppercuts and stuff like this, but like there's nothing that beats like a good left jab. It's the best, you know, punch in boxing. You can use it to defend, you can use it to go forward, you can use it to go back. It sets up that backhand if you're orthodox like that's your right hand. So yeah, like fundamentals, whether it's a 1-2 double jab left hand, double jab right hand, jab hook, like everything off the jab is basically.
We're coming to that one. We're coming to that.
But no, a double jab right hand is like one of the first things you would learn in boxing. Brings you in range, lands your power shot. Instead of just trying to land a power shot like someone would do in a street fight, you come in behind that double jab, keeping yourself safe, almost masking your power hand. Then you can land your power hand. So yeah, it's a great combination.
Love that. And also with these combos, what I've also always tell my clients is that even if they're 3 or 4 punch combos, doesn't mean you need to throw all 3 or 4 each time. We just need to get comfortable throwing them. So even sometimes it could be double jab cross, but it might be jab cross, because that little pause in between.
So you mix your timing up.
There we go. Rather than just being like double jab cross, double jab cross, until then someone's reading it and like, okay, wait for it, boom, 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 come off it. So it's in varying the range, or it might just be a jab and you see next day, let me reset because they're ready.
But no, that's clever.
Doing
that's
that.
Yeah, for sure.
Next we got the cross hook cross. So I find that's one where you've got someone against a bit of pressure on there, covering up, just kind of like going cross hook cross, or again, could be the hook cross.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, good. More like a finishing kind of move. They're all like power punches. So like you say, like depending on the scenario where you are in the ring, your guy would, maybe you've already landed a double jab or already landed a jab, and your guy's stationary or he's tucked up, and you say, you know what, I want to let my hands go, power, power, power. Yeah, it's good. Another basic combination. You don't see a lot of that. If I'm honest with you, most people will normally finish on the left hook. It does keep you a little bit safer finishing on your lead hand. But if that makes sense, because from here you're here, you either got to step back or reset kind of thing. But no, it's another good combination, more a power punching kind of combination. But it's good.
So you'd say, would you perhaps say add another left hook in the end of that then? So let's say 4, because we can vary.
Yeah, or I would just like you said about mixing it up. I would just go backhand hook, backhand. I'll maybe just take a step away, or just do something with my head because I'm going to be here. And I don't want to finish here. Yeah. I want to finish back in my stance, back in a safe space. But yeah, it's still a good combination.
Love that. Third, we've got combo 3, uppercut, hook, cross. Yeah. So again, with that,
nice roll on the end.
There we go. So you almost like push them away, you work in the jab, find an opening. Once they're covered up, boom, hook, and then cross once again.
Similar to the backhand hook, backhand. It's just, but again, like you said, it's variation. You don't want to get into a fight and only have or a spar and only have like one go-to thing. So it's good to practice these, like you said, these hook hand, backhand, hook, backhand, uppercut, hook, backhand, just to give you variation. You're trying to not trick your opponent, but you don't want him to know what you're going to do all the time. And the more you practice these different combinations, as the scenarios play out in a fight, in a real life situation, if you've done it enough, like the muscle memory, you'll just do it at the right time. So you might be a little bit closer to your opponent with this one. With this one, you might be here, but this one you might be here and you might be smaller. So yeah, it's a different situation if you're a little bit closer in range. Uppercut will set up the left hook nice, and then you finish on the right hand. It's good.
Combo 4. Lead hook to the body, hook to the head, cross. So with the hook to the body, it can sometimes also be an uppercut, but more lead to the body, hook, cross, and roll.
Yeah, it's a good combination, and like you said, like it can be, not every punch in that one has to be hard. You might tap these two just to get him to, you know, especially if you've got a tight guard. I've had opponents with tight guards, and it's like, how can I move his guard? I need to land my one shot. So you might just tap this one, tap that one to just land that big one. So yeah, again, variation. It's a good combination because it goes head and body. You're finishing on that backhand. So yeah, another good combination.
Nice one. Now we're moving on to the second half. So we've got this, what you said to start, lead, jab, lead, hook. So essentially, I got this one from Floyd because he always go jab, lead. They always go jab, lead, hook, jab, jab, lead, hook, jab. So I thought, okay, let me try jab, lead, hook, cross, because it kind of sometimes opens it up a bit. Now they're wide on that side, kind of like on the other.
This is a more, you know, your progression a bit higher now. So what would basically happen with the jab? You're getting into catch that jab here, and you're trying to come around the side to like move that hand around the side so that I can land this one. So yeah, it's about manipulating your opponent's hands. Again, tricking him. You don't just want to go jab, jab, right hand all the time. This one you jab, hook. He's like, oh, where's it coming from? You might get jab, hook, jab, hook, down, jab, hook, up, jab, hook, straight. So again, it's just maneuvering his hands, trying to open up that guard, trying to keep him guessing. And again, I mean, the first two would probably be somewhat taps, and then that backhand is the power shot. So that's another good combination.
So it's tap, love that. Now we're going on to combo 6. Again, something that needs the ball timing. We're doubling up now. We're going right uppercut, cross, hook, cross. So it's something whereby, again, this is, you've got to have your opponent more under wraps at this time. But as in, when you're seeing like some breaking in their chinks in the armor, you're working off, you're working a jab, you get that uppercut, finally opening, they cover up there, then you double, because you're used to seeing 1, 2, 1, 2, other side. This time you've gone here, double up there, and then you're coming at switching
that
side.
That was one thing I was going to say. Most of the combinations normally go left, right, or left, right, whatever. But with that one, where it's two on the same hand, again, going back to what I keep saying, you're confusing your opponent, you're showing him different variations. Very difficult to defend against someone who could master all these combinations and would do them at the right time, because you never know where the punches are coming from. Two punches off the same hand, off a power shot, would definitely confuse a guy. Because if you throw an uppercut to me, say I block it, I'm going to go like this, expecting the left hook, and then the right hand's going to come. So yeah, that's a good combination to confuse your opponent again.
Nice, I love that. So two more. So we've got here the jab, cross, jab. So jab, cross, jab. Many different variations could be done. What I've also noticed recently, 2 knockdowns at the elite level have been with that. So with
Kovalev.
No, not Kovalev. Crawford versus Spence.
Yeah.
So he first threw the, I think it was the jab to the body. Yeah. Obviously, it's not jab cross.
Backhand, and
then he went cross and jab. And then also when I think not Lomachenko, that's a bit older. It was a cross to the body. Then he came to the hook. Yeah. It was Usyk versus Dubois.
Okay.
It was it was a cross and it was that jab.
Yeah.
So it's that jab, cross, jab. Kind of also makes that jab a power jab.
Yeah, because you're almost jumping into it. So yeah, you got a lot of. Well, that's the thing. When you're here, your weight is here. So if you finish on that jab, all your body weight's coming into it. And again, just going back to the fundamentals of boxing, it's a bit of an unorthodox punch, because normally off a backhand, guys are gonna come here, guys are gonna come here. They're not expecting that jab. And that jab, like I said earlier, why I like to finish on a left hook or a left hand, is because it just resets you. So now I'm back in my base. I'm not here. So yeah, that is a shot that. Kovalev done it to Anthony Yard. It catches people off, because no one's expecting that. Everyone's expecting 1, 2, left hook, if that makes sense. Then you're gonna go 1, 2, 1. It's a straight shot. It's a power shot. Catches them off surprise, by surprise. Yeah, it's a very, very. If you can master that one, it's a very good combination. Yeah.
Love that. And then last but not least, jab, cross, hook, and then go into the body afterwards.
Yeah. So that's a basic combination. I throw that one a lot. It's more the first 3 punches might just be to get your opponent's hands up. So the first 3, you don't put a lot of power or steam into them or effort. You just go 1, 2, hook to the head. So he's raising his hands, and now you're going to slip to the side and bang in the body shot. So the main shot in that combination is the body shot. So again, going back to what you said in the first one, you want to change the tempo of them. So it might be really light and really fast, just to get him comfortable, feeling like nothing's coming, and then you sit down and change to the body. So yeah, changing levels, keeping him guessing, head and body, good combination.
Perfect. Love that. So those are the 8 combos. Out of those 8, which ones which should, like, if you were to choose 2, if you said, I'm gonna get others, I'm gonna have to put to the side. Not saying they can't be used, but as in you're like 2, maybe 3. You're like, these are the ones I'm gonna.
Honestly, probably the first one and the last one. I think the double jab backhand is like just a very safe one. Even if with these combinations, like they're called throwaway punches, I don't even need to land the first double jab. So if I'm on the ropes and I want to get away from the ropes, I might just go double jab right. I might only land the right hand, or I might not even land the first jab, but I'm pushing him back because I'm in the corner. I don't want to be in the corner. Yeah. And also, like I said, for me, I throw a lot of left hooks to the body. That 1, 2 hook to the head, just to get him to cover up, slip. And I've stopped and finished a lot of guys with left hook to the body. So I like that one. Changes levels, catches them by surprise, gets them hands up so that I can go down to the body. So yeah, they're my favourite 2, to be honest with you.
Love that, perfect. And then what we'll do is just wanting to like actually try to move through them, and then go through the 12 principles, just share them. See, I think you've already said which one's your favourite, because you mentioned discipline. That's actually one of them already. That's 6. But
yeah, so I get my gloves,
yes, please.